So the Kenya political scene currently is basically being sort of choreographed to silence the voices of the other tribes in Kenya. And this also has to do with marginalization. And marginalization is not a geographical issue. This is something people need to understand. It's not a geographical issue, it's a political issue. They are not giving the resources to these counties that need the resources. And the reason being that these counties, the people in those who live in those counties, do not support them. These are not their supporters. So that's why. And there's ideological differences there. And the reality of the situation is the current sort of Kenya politics is being framed by the media as two sides. One side is just they're drunk and they like drinking, looting, do all the other criminal activities, but they are basically drunk. Kuko zimenyeshewa. And the other side is basically the ones who go to church, to cry in church, like they're dying of hunger. They're dying of famine and starvation. Those are the two sides that is being presented now to Kenyans as their alternatives to political leadership. And the reality is there are other tribes. There are other tribes. These tribes also have leaders, and their voices need to be given space in the media. In the media, their voices need to be amplified too, because what the Kenya media is doing is basically sort of playing into there are only two tribes in Kenya, the Kikuyu and the Kalenjin, and you have maybe the Luos and the Luyas. Everybody else is a tourist. He's just walking around the country over there, walking around Africa. That's what everybody visiting. I don't know where they're supposed to go after visiting, but they are there visiting. They don't make any contribution. That's how they have been presenting the other tribes in Kenya. So when you watch the news, you will think Kenya only has less than 5 tribes. That's the reality. You'll think Kenya has less than 5 tribes because that's how it's being presented by the Kenyan media. And this needs to end. Other tribes, the voices of other tribes need to be factored in, and the reality of the voices of the other tribes, they're not gonna support these two pathetic groups of drunk and stupid, and the other side, they are also stupid. They cry like they're dying of anger. Like you're literally fat. You're a fat man crying. I'm just saying. So part of it has to do with the Kenya media failing to present the opinions and the voices of other Kenyans. And other Kenyans, I mean Kenyans from other tribes. And acting like Kenyans from other tribes don't make any contribution to Kenya. And they have been doing this. They've been doing this for years. And that's why Kikuyus and Kalenjins and even Luos, that's why they act like all the other tribes don't contribute anything. And even Luyas and they act like other tribes do not contribute anything because the way the media presents the political scene and basically life in Kenya, it's presented like the other tribes don't contribute anything. They do nothing. Nothing. And you're speaking Swahili, which is not Kikuyu, it's not Kalenjin, it's from the Swahili. You are doing a whole lot of things, which was not singing a national anthem that was from a lullaby from the Giriama. You're going to the coast beaches, which is most people who work there are from those areas, and it's at the coast. There are so many things that other Kenyans from other tribes contribute that is not being presented in the Kenyan media. And it's very interesting because these same journalists who work for these media houses will make a complaint about international media perceiving Africa and Kenyans in a negative light, like presenting the negative side of Africans and Kenya. And they do the exact same thing to the other tribes in Kenya. They do the exact same thing. They act like other tribes in Kenya do not exist, do not make any contribution. Basically, the other tribes in Kenya are basically silenced. And that's why they normally unite and you have this 40 versus the two tribes thing going on. It's because they silence the voices of other Kenyans. They ignore the contributions of other Kenyans people from other tribes to the country Kenya. And that's part of the problem that the Somalis are having, the Somalis in Kenya, because they're saying they're Kenyan too. But they are realizing what every other tribe, already knows is their contribution will be minimized, is being minimized. Their contribution to the economy, to everything is being minimized the way they minimize every other tribe in Kenya. They minimize the contribution of other tribes in the economy, in everything. So there is a silencing of the 40 tribes. It's 40 plus tribes in Kenya. And the ones who get the coverage, the ones who get the positive coverage, basically showing their contribution to the economy, is normally given to the large tribes. The other smaller tribes, it's like they don't exist. So I just wanted to point that out. And Kenyans need to welcome a new political leadership, give new people a chance. They need to, most of these people need to go. Fagia Wote, especially the YK92 group, all of them, those ones need to go. Like, dude, no, mkono ujinga sana. Sana. They need to go. Thank you.